Alright, we're over here at Go To Math. We're doing some calculus. We're in this section on rules of differentiation. And actually, this button here, if you click on it, we're going to start taking the derivative of some trig functions. And we're going to be looking at this one here, y is equal to cosine x. Now, how about we use red? Why not? I haven't used red in a while. Y is equal to cosine x. Now these are ones that you're just going to have to memorize. And so we end up with negative sine x. Okay, negative sine x. Now remember we took the derivative of sine x. When we take the derivative of that, we get cosine x. So it's just the opposite, right? But in the case of cosine, we have to throw in a negative out front. What if we took the derivative of this derivative here? We would end up getting negative sine x. And then if we took the derivative of that, we get cosine x anyway. Here's something you need to think about. Let's think about this for a second. Let's look at the graph of cosine x. So the graph of cosine x, right, crosses up here at 1. It comes down. Of course, when is cosine 0? This is going to be at cosine of 0 at pi halves, right? And then it's going to go back up again and right, oscillate across. Cosine of 0 again here at 3 pi halves. Now what I want to look at is the derivative. So we know if we found the tangent line, the slope of the tangent line at this point right here, right, that slope is 0. Okay, so in other words, okay, I'm going to write this in function notation right here. F prime of x, let's write it with the derivative is negative sine x. Okay, the derivative is negative sine x. Yes. Okay. All right. And when we plug 0 into this, what's the sign of 0? The sign of 0 is 0. Okay, so this will indicate the y. Sign of 0, plug 0 in, we get 0 out. Alright, so there you go. Now we also know that these are the slope of the tangent line at all these points is going to be, trying to draw a tangent line here. The slope is negative, 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 and then the slope is 0 once again. Okay, once again. So we plug this x value, or these radians or whatever, into here, we should get 0 once again. But this graph, since the slope is negative, if I plug this number into the derivative, right, slope of the tangent line is negative. So we know that that number is going to be down here, right, all these numbers. So we're going to be plotting a bunch of dots down here, and then we know that this thing has got to eventually come back up again. You know, do something like that right there. And then of course, okay, and you can kind of see, right? So we're just kind of sketching out. Just by looking at this graph here, we can actually sketch out what the derivative is. Okay, and that's really important. We can actually sketch out what this derivative could possibly be just by looking at this graph right here. And you will definitely have test questions where they give you a graph and say, okay, sketch out what you think the derivative might be. All right, so that's pretty important. But in this particular problem, we need to memorize that the derivative of cosine x is negative sine x. All right, negative sine x. And there it is. All right, so go to 5, click, 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 practice.